Leeds fans, stop scrolling right now. Elland Road is absolutely reeling after that 3-0 humiliation against Brighton, but the scoreline isn't even the worst part. The supercomputer just flashed a terrifying new number, 36.69%, and a touchline argument was caught on camera that exposes a massive crack. In Daniel Farke's dressing room, we have the footage analysis, the damning statistics, and the fixture list that could define our entire season. Here's the first payoff, because the cameras didn't lie. As he was subbed off, Jayden Bogle was caught in a heated, visible debate with Farke's staff, looking completely baffled as to why he was the one hooked. If you bleed white and are marching on together, nitrogen monoxide matter what? Smash that like button and subscribe right now. We start with the argument that proves the pressure is boiling over at Leeds United. The substitution happened late in the game, a game that was already lost 3-0. A game where almost anyone in a white shirt could have been justifiably hooked for a performance that was described as generous, even to call below par. Daniel Farke pointed at the number 25, Jayden Bogle. James Justin was brought on to replace him, but Bogle didn't just walk off. The cameras followed him to the bench, where he was seen in an intense, animated conversation with Farke and the entire coaching staff. He wasn't just listening, he was actively debating. He looked, as many supporters noted, completely and utterly baffled. The confirmation of this tension? It came just moments later from journalist Bjorn Cross, who was at the Amex and tweeted, quote, "Some debate between Bogle and the staff about his withdrawal. Don't think he understood why he was taken off." This is where the story splits into two realities. Bogle may not have understood, but every single Leeds fan watching, and certainly Daniel Farke, knew exactly why he was taken off. The justification was crystal clear, and the statistics are horrifying. We need to talk about what FotMob recorded, because it is damning. Jayden Bogle, our starting right back, played over 80 minutes and failed to win a single duel. Not one. His only registered defensive contribution for the entire match was one single clearance. Going forward, it was just as bad. 0 chances created. Only one of his 3 attempted crosses managed to find a teammate. But the real moment, the nail in the coffin that sealed the 3-0 humiliation, was the third goal. Bogle was casually dispossessed on the edge of his own box, a catastrophic individual error that gifted the ball to Brighton, who scored their third of the game through Diego Gomez. Gomez had been tormenting Leeds all afternoon, and Bogle just handed him the cherry on top. Bogle has been reliable for us this season, we have to acknowledge that. He will likely bounce back from this display. But for a player to be directly and solely responsible for the goal that seals a 3-0 humiliation and then appear confused and argumentative as to why he is being substituted, that is a major disconnect. That is a player not seeing the reality of his own performance. Farke was absolutely right to hook him, not just for the error, but to send a message to the entire squad. You cannot make mistakes like that in the Premier League and expect to finish the 90 minutes. Do you think Farke was right to sub Bogle, or was it pointless signaling in a game already lost? Let me know your thoughts on that touchline debate below. If you agree that accountability is needed now more than ever, hit that like button. But this one player's poor performance is just a symptom of a much bigger disease. While Bogle was arguing on the touchline, a supercomputer was running the numbers on this loss, and the prediction it just spat out has sent a shiver down the spine of West Yorkshire. This defeat wasn't just 3 points dropped. It was an alarm bell that is now ringing off the hook. The optimism from the early season is fading fast, and the 3-0 capitulation at the Amex has confirmed the fears of the statisticians. Opta's supercomputer has recalculated Leeds United's chances of survival, and the shift is significant and immediate. Before this weekend, after the crucial win against West Ham, Leeds had a 33.18% chance of dropping back into the championship. As of tonight, following that 90-minute disaster, that number has jumped to 36.69%. That is a tangible, frightening increase based on one single performance. The supercomputer doesn't care about passion, it cares about data, and our data is bad. It now predicts Leeds will finish the season with just 38 points. That projection would see us finish 16th, just 2 places above the drop zone. But here is the truly terrifying part of that prediction. That 38-point tally would place us only 1 point above Nottingham Forest, who are predicted to finish 18th and go down 1 point. That is the margin for error this season. One bad result, one missed tackle, one player failing to track back is the difference between survival and relegation. And why is the computer so pessimistic? because it has seen our upcoming fixtures. If you thought Brighton was tough, look at what is coming. We have picked up just 4 points from our last 5 games, and the festive period is looking like a tactical nightmare. Next weekend, we have an away trip to Nottingham Forest. After that, Aston Villa at home, then Manchester City away, then Chelsea away, then Liverpool at home. That is 3 of the expected top 4 in a row, with a trip to Stamford Bridge for good measure. It is difficult, looking at that list, to see where the points come from. This means the match against Forest is now arguably the biggest game of our season. It is a true relegation 6-pointer. If Farke's side loses that, the pressure becomes almost unbearable heading into that run against Villa, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool. We could realistically be looking at 4 or 5 defeats in a row. If that happens, we will be firmly in the relegation zone by Christmas. Is this supercomputer prediction fair, or is it underrating Farke's ability to pull out a result? Drop your prediction for that 5-game stretch in the comments. And if you believe we will beat Nottingham Forest, smash that like button. But to beat Forest, we have to fix the problem that caused the loss to Brighton. It wasn't just Bogle. In fact, his teammate on the other side of the pitch was arguably even worse. While Jayden Bogle was responsible for the 3rd goal, the entire collapse started just 11 minutes into the match, and it started on the opposite flank. The player in question has been excellent this season, starting every single league game, which is why this performance was so shocking and so damaging. The player, Gudmundsson. He recovered from a knock he picked up against West Ham, just in time to be declared fit to start against Brighton. And Daniel Farke may now be wishing he had given him another week to rest. Gudmundsson was found completely wanting for the opening goal, a goal that set the tone for the entire afternoon. He was caught in no man's land, a moment of total indecision. He didn't press Gudmundsson on the corner of the box, allowing the wideman to drift inside and assess his options. But then he also failed to track the run of Mats Wiefer, who ran directly into the space Gudmundsson had just vacated by taking the hesitant steps forward. Wiefer got the ball, squared it, and Danny Welbeck had a simple finish. Leeds were 1-0 down. It was a moment of pure tactical failure, and in the Premier League, indecision is death. You either press the ball aggressively or you hold your defensive shape. Gudmundsson did neither, and we paid the price. But it didn't stop there. According to match reports analyzing all 3 goals, Gudmundsson, who has been a rock for us all season, was directly at fault for 2 of them. The man has been one of our most reliable players, but he was responsible for 2/3 of our humiliation at the Amex. This cannot stand. Daniel Farke has to drive standards, and errors like that, regardless of past performance, cannot go unpunished. The solution, thankfully, is already sitting on the bench and waiting. James Justin, the summer signing from Leicester City, has been waiting patiently for his chance. He got rare minutes replacing Gudmundsson when he was injured against West Ham, and he even came on for Bogle in this match, showing his versatility. Justin is more than capable. He has Premier League experience. This error from Gudmundsson, whether it's tiredness from a hectic start or just a horrible dip in form, is the perfect moment to make the change. Farke must be ruthless. Dropping Gudmundsson for the massive game against Nottingham Forest sends a message to the entire squad: no one is undroppable. Do you agree? Is it time for James Justin to get his first start at left back? Or was this just one bad day for Gudmundsson? Let me know who starts against Forest. Now, let's put all 3 pieces together for the final, brutal picture. 3 stories, 1 devastating narrative. This wasn't just a 3-0 defeat. It was a tactical exposure that has fractured the dressing room and alerted the supercomputers. First, Jayden Bogle, at fault for the 3rd goal, argues with the manager on the sideline, completely baffled as to why he was hooked after winning 0 duels all game. Then, Gudmundsson, at fault for the first 2 goals, shows critical indecision, opening the door for the entire collapse just 11 minutes in. And finally, the consequence: Opta's supercomputer raises our relegation chances to over 36%, predicting we survive by a single point. And it predicts that precisely because it sees the fixtures ahead: Aston Villa, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. This entire season now hinges on the next match: Nottingham Forest, the very team predicted to go down in 18th place, 1 point behind us. This is the definition of a relegation dogfight, and it's happening in November. The loss to Brighton has turned the match at the City ground into an absolute must-win. A loss there, and the statistical likelihood of Leeds going into that nightmare festive run inside the bottom 3 is terrifyingly high. Daniel Farke now faces the biggest decisions of his Leeds United career. Does he drop Bogle? Does he drop Gudmundsson? Does he start James Justin? Does he change the entire system? He has 7 days to fix a defense that was just completely and totally dismantled. Here is what I need from everyone watching right now, every single member of the Leeds faithful. 1. Hit that like button if you back Daniel Farke to make the ruthless changes necessary to win at Forest. TWO. Drop a comment with the one player who must be dropped for that game. Is it Bogle or Gudmundsson? 3. Subscribe to this channel. We are marching on together, and we need every fan locked in as we break down the Forest preview later this week. You will not want to miss it. But as we close, listen closely. Here is the double cliffhanger. The internal problem. Farke has to make these changes, but Bogle's public reaction shows the players might not be on board. If Farke drops both his starting fullbacks, does he risk losing the dressing room, or does he galvanize it? And the external threat. Nottingham Forest scouts were at the Amex. They just watched Brighton score 3 goals by attacking our fullbacks. They now have the exact blueprint to beat us. The battle for survival starts now. Marching on together. Stay locked.